Well, I'm interested to find out what's going on and trying to sell people where all the provides
Hey, hello everybody. Um, can I get a quick mic check down the back? Can you folks hear me? Excellent, thank you. Hello and welcome. GovHack Connections. Used to be called Meet the Data Owners, but we've moved away from that. We are now GovHack Connections because we connected. Glorious. My name's Jordan Wilson-Otto. I'm here representing the Victorian State Organisation team for GovHack. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that we're meeting on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I'd like to acknowledge them as the traditional owners of this land and pay my respects to their elders past and present. So we're all here to talk about GovHack and open data. And thank you all for coming. It's fantastic to see such a good turnout for a group of people to get together and talk about open data. That's what we get really excited about. We've got something like 25 data owners from all over Victorian government, cities of Melbourne, Ballarat and Geelong, and also the local government spatial reference group. And we're all here to chat about open data. So before we get to that though, I'm going to try and be brief. I'm going to talk about what GovHack is, because there are a few faces in the room that might not be aware of that. So. Cool. So GovHack is now in its 5th year and it's big. Ballpark 2,000 people participate every year now across Australia and New Zealand. People from all sorts of backgrounds as well. That's one of the focuses of GovHack. You've got entrepreneurs and developers and data analysts, but you've also got like digital media creators, artists, filmmakers, storytellers, academics, researchers as well, coming together and looking at government data in a different way. GovHack 2016 is happening in the last weekend of July, 29 to 31 July. The competition starts at 7 on a Friday night, closes at 5 on the Sunday, and there are currently 19 official events all over Australia, in Australia, that's not counting the New Zealand ones. There are also 11 community nodes, which are smaller events. They tend to not have quite all the bells and whistles, but they also tend to be more focused on specific communities, specific problems, specific approaches. So, for example, in Melbourne, we've got a mapping node, and we've got a node in Point Cook called Hack for Wyndham. Right, that was that slide. Meet the Victorian State Operations team. I'm in there somewhere. We've got Dushant. So I'm going to get like State Operations team and Melbourne and hosts. Can you all stand up or give us a wave as we roll through? So we've got Dushant down there. Adam. Alex. Alice. Katie. Rachel, Sally, then we've got the event hosts, Matthew, Kathy, Elena can't be here tonight, George, I don't think is. Do we have a Geelong site host? Ballarat site host, right? And Vijay. Fantastic. So if you have any questions about GovHack at all, bug all of those people who just waved their hands. Moving on. What is GovHack? I think most of you probably know this. Some of you might not. So I'm just going to brush through quickly what it is. It's a competition. You build stuff with open data. The competition categories are announced on the Friday night. You've got until Sunday afternoon to do something. It's competition, there are prizes. But it's also, and we try really hard to make this happen, a friendly, creative environment. It's not about beating the team next to you, it's about helping them. It's about doing cool stuff with public data. What is open data? Again, probably preaching to the converted here, so I'm not going to spend much time on this. Governments across Australia and the world are custodians of valuable information that they could release and be reused to benefit the community. Government open data is those things. Anyone can participate. Like I said, GovHack is about inclusion and broad communities. It's not about just getting coders in the room. It's about trying to broaden out our environment as much as possible. One example that I always go to is the Melbourne site that last year and this year, I believe as well, is running childcare across the weekend. Like looking at people with caring responsibilities often have trouble getting to weekend events. That's one way, one of the many things we're doing to try and get people along, to try and broaden the demographic of the people who come and play with us. Just quickly, because this is the first question I get asked whenever I talk to any kind of government organisation or sponsor. What is a hack? Hack is taking something and making it better, creatively repurposing something. It's not breaking stuff, it's not security related. I'm not even going to confirm that. That's what the hackerspace looks like. That's where the actual competition takes place over the weekend. If you're going to come to GovHack and play along, highly recommend going and having a look at that. There are a whole bunch of resources available on the GovHack site. If you Google GovHack hackerspace, you can look at the hackerspaces from the last few years. You can look at the projects that won, the projects that didn't win. You can get some ideas from that. So in addition to talking about the data that will be available, have a look at the competition, have a look at the kinds of things that will be made, and have a look at how they go, get some ideas going. So yeah, there's that particular participant toolkit that is really worthwhile. There are competition rules. It has rules. I'm not going to go into the detail of those. We have a lot of sponsors, and we rely. So GovHack is run by volunteers. We're not for profit. None of us get paid for this. We rely on government and mostly government, but also corporate contributions to be able to make this happen. So I would like to say a big thanks to all of our sponsors who are up there. Just to note, it's not too late. GovHack's at the end of July. If you want to have a conversation about coming and sponsoring us, have a chat with me. But yes, this is what we're here for. We're here to talk to data mentors about the data that they have. So, I'm going to find my list of data mentors that are here today. And what we're going to do is we're going to play Data Mentor Speed Dating. Data mentors have 1 minute, and they've been warned previously to this that they will have 1 minute, to answer those 4 questions. Who are you and what department agency are you from? What data are you responsible for? What makes that data interesting or useful? And in general terms, what would you love to see people do with it? So we have a roving mic, which is now on. And first off the rank is Brad Petrie. Crime stats stuff, right?
Do I just stand here?
Yep, stand up.
Hello.
Go for it.
Hi everyone, my name is Brad. I'm the Operations Manager at the Crime Stats Agency. We are responsible for Crime Stats. It's kind of in the title of our agency, but that includes information about all the offences recorded in Victoria, offenders who are preceded by police, victims of crime, and also family violence related incidents reported by Victoria Police. There's a wealth of information that we've got on our website. We also have some extra data that we're going to release for this event this year. What makes our data useful, interesting? Everyone's interested in crime data, from people who are looking at buying something, like buying property in a certain area, just to look at, the types of crime that occurs in the state, where it occurs, how it occurs, and who commits those crimes. In general terms, we would really like to see how people would visualise this data. We've had a crack on our website, but we're really open to getting people to have a crack at seeing what they can do with this data. There's a lot there. There's a lot more that we can offer as well. We know that, but we just don't have the time to look into that. We're also particularly interested in issues around privacy and confidentiality. We obviously have data protection requirements for this data, and anyone who has the ability to help us do stuff around data masking and confidentiality would be greatly appreciated. I should also mention that information that we don't have on our website, or any extra data that you're interested in getting before GovHack, please come and chat to me or Paul, who's with me tonight, and we can have a chat to you about what we've got available.
Fantastic. Perfect. Thank you, Brad. Paul, did you have anything to add to that?
Nothing to add, but I'm here for it.
Right. Fantastic. Viv Renzella Rose.
So I work in births, deaths and marriages. If you go onto our website, bdm.vic.gov.au, you will find some stats that probably aren't really interesting. It's more about what they're not telling us. So we'll tell you how many events we registered year over year, so how many births, deaths and marriages. But what might be really interesting is to understand the demographics. So where are people being born, where are they passing away, where are they getting married, so that we can use that to better supply those particular postcodes, to give people better insight into where people are moving, background, so cultural background. We store that information for births as well as for deaths and marriages. So it would be great to get a bit more benefit out of the data that we currently store, because I don't think they're really doing it.
Perfect. Thank you, Viv. Greg, right there.
Hi all, I'm Greg Goff. I'm the Policy Manager at GovHack, and I work at Department of Treasury and Finance. In this scenario, I'm actually here about budget data, but I can pretty much answer questions about a lot of data on GovHack. But what we've got is these horrible books, which is our budget data. But on our website, we have close to 200 data sets, which are all about the breakdown of these, and like 50 odd just last year. I suppose the reason why it's interesting is it's got budget papers describe everything in there, economics of the state, through the financial position where we're at, all the different projects that we're doing, all the asset investments, all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot involved in these books, which are really boring to read. But when you pull them apart, there's some really interesting stories in there. I suppose what I'd like to see is that they're not books. Something more interesting, don't they?
That's it. Thank you, sir. Who's next? Nick Crescent.
Hi, my name's Nick. I'm with GovSan Markets. We're from Sustainability Victoria. We collect waste and resource recovery data from all 79 Victorian local governments. We have 15 years of data. It makes it unique. No one else collects the type of data we collect. We'd like to look at something like flow of waste from local governments to final disposal, like landfill or the recycling facility. We need to visualise that. Would be really great for us. And we also have some really interesting life cycle assessment data we can use for environmental benefits of recycling. Anything there, guys?
Sounds good to me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hussein, pass up.
Jordan. My name is Hussein Pasa. I'm from Eclipse, Manager of Special Services. In terms of the data, we have around a couple of hundred different data sets we are managing at Eclipse. Most of them are pertaining to the roads, road use, assets and events happening on the roads, like the road closures or crashes happening on our roads or traffic volumes and travel speeds on our roads. Freight network is another data set that we are managing. We have more than 12 different freight network data sets which are actually showing the restrictions on accessing part of the road network. Some of our real-time data sets actually end up in Google, and the travel times and the road closures that you're seeing in the Google Maps is actually coming from people. We have open data website. We are managing around 50 to 60 different data sets in our open data website, which is open to access. CSV, shape, KML, through JSON, you can download and use them. In terms of what you love to see from the hackers through this process is I think there are 5 different categories that I can name. One is general storytelling. So what's happening in our roads? How the road is performing in general? What's the congestion comparing to the traffic volume, comparing to the crash numbers on our road network? Second category is around safety. Very important for us. How you can help us to minimize the fatalities and the crash on our road network. Third category is around productivity and freight movement on goods. How to help the heavy vehicles to move around our network without damaging our assets and actually stucking on the bridges. The fourth category is around journey and journey planning, because as part of the picture in terms of data set, like traffic volumes of the road closures, it is also one big part of the data set, but how to match these data sets together and provide a multimodal journey planning. And the fifth one is encouraging cycling and walking. It's very important for us. The more actually we move people away from our roads and encourage them to cycling and walking is the benefit.
Darren Baldiga.
Seth's going to talk for us.
Right. Hi, I'm Zed, and that's Darren, and we're from Park Victoria. Park Victoria, we look after parks in Victoria. We'll use 1 minute. We're not the little parks at the end of your street with seesaws and swing. We look after the big awesome parks, Wilson's Prom, the Grampians, marine parks, and sanctuaries, and all that sort of great stuff. Data-wise, we have our parks, where they are. We have our management boundaries. We also have a whole lot of marine data available, imagery data, and we can survey what's happening in our marine parks. We're probably not as rich as some other organisations in the business as far as data goes, but we do have a story that we want you to tell using everyone else's data. And Parks Victoria's slogan, for want of a better word, is healthy parks, healthy people. Where you go to a park and you feel awesome. You know, you might go for a walk, you get fresh air, you get exercise, it lowers the cases of diabetes and obesity, or you might see a beautiful eagle with your full reflectable, or you might talk about a pile of rubbish around a park, around a campfire with your mates and you connect with people. So that's the sort of story we want to tell, to encourage people to get into parks, how you feel when you get it, and the benefits and the like of get when you're there. Any questions, please ask. We do have more data available.
All right. We're up to Neil Smith.
G'day, I'm Neil Smith from Public Transport Victoria, and I have Natalie Rudolph from Public Transport Victoria as well here. So, just like Parks, we're in charge of public transport data. So, the data sets we do have is all around the bus, the tram, the train, the V line, the coaches, all that information, whether it be routes, lines, stops, stations, timetables, real-time information. And they're packaged up in 2 files. GTFS file, which is the entire scheduled timetable information around all those modes, and a timetable API, which includes sort of calls in there you want to make around a certain location. That includes, in the timetable API, real-time information around bus and tram and disruption information. It includes some regional bus real-time information, And I'll probably say not available here, but if you use that data set, real-time train will be available later on this year as well. And what I'd probably say is the challenges we want to see put out there is, like the saying said, around amalgamating the public transport with Vic Roads data around bus. Believe it or not, our tram and train patronage is increasing, but our bus is dropping off. So we want to understand why. We want to challenge them, get people to discover the buses out there. We've got real-time information, but no one knows who catches a bus in here. But no one really knows where they go unless they catch one. So we want to see you get out there discovering. We also want to see, I've been on Pokemon Go. Who's on Pokemon Go? Woo! Yeah. Imagine that with public transport. You point it at a stop and you see the next 5 on the bus, and you go and see it on the tram. Why aren't we doing that? Why isn't there a bus tracker? Tram tracker is one of their number ones. Why isn't there a bus tracker? Those sort of things we want to see out there and see you explore. The big one I want to see is the public transport GDFS and timetable API is the number one data set that's downloaded from datavic.gov.au. However, Vic Roads and their data sets are starting to surpass us. So I just want to see you download that so we stay at the top. Ah, stop it!
If people want to use the API, they need to apply beforehand.
Yes, good point. If you want to use the timetable API on the night, you need to apply for a development key. So please get on board now and have a look at it and download that, and we'll get you registered.
Thank you. Okay, who are we up to? Tia Monahan.
I'm Tia. I'm from the Powerline Bushfire Safety Program at Delft. I guess we exist because of the Black Saturday bushfires and the Royal Commission into that, and we are trying to reduce the risk of power lines causing bushfires. One of the, least understood conduction activities is when vegetation falls across the line or is across the line for whatever reason. So what we've done is a hell of a lot of testing a number of different species and identifying their fault signature. Essentially what we want to do is create a fault signature detection. So if a specific tree like a peppercorn is across the line, we know that's not going to ignite, so there's no danger. But if desert ash, for example, is across the line, that's going to cause a fire really quickly. So we need something where it can fire back to the distribution businesses, and if need be, we can shut off the power straight away to ensure a fire doesn't start. So we've got, what we're hoping is that someone can develop algorithms that detect the unique signatures, but there's a bit of noise on the network, so it's about reducing the noise network and looking into those fault signatures. If anyone wants to chat about it, I'm more than happy to speak to you after this.
All right, David Blaine.
Thanks, Jordan. I'm here tonight to talk about BitMap. BitMap is the foundation for framework, fundamental data sets covering the state of Victoria. I won't mention how many there are, but it's broken up into land administration themes, address, parcel property. Construction industry is the biggest industry in the state, and that's significantly reflected in BitMap land administration themes. BitMap topographic products reflect the geography of the state of Victoria, so the statewide reflection of that. So what do we want to get out of it? We'd like to see make it, shake it, and break our data. Show us where it's not useful, show us where it is useful, and we'll certainly take that on board and look at where we can go from here. So please use it. Told the BitMap API is free on the weekend of GovHack, so please use it.
Do people need to register beforehand?
Nerds? Anyone?
Brilliant. Okay, Rafe Bentley.
I don't think I can go beyond make it, shake it, bake it. I mean, that's a pretty good catchphrase. Anyway, Ray Bentley, Officer Geographic Names with the Department of Many Names. That's the Environment, Land, Water and Planning. I maintain the Registrar of Geographic Names. Vic Names, which is the Register of Geographic Names, aka the Geographic Names Register, which is also held with VicMap. is a layer that they assist with maintenance. Big names includes all place and road names, whilst GNR covers just place names. Big roads, the application, also includes roads which are held in the bitmap transport layer. There are around 45,000 officially registered geographic place names. This is parks, reserves, schools, the list goes on. There's about 300 odd geographic features. And the register holds around about 200,000 roads. What makes this data powerful and useful, and all officially registered place and road names are contained within big names. This information combined with bitmap data is provided to emergency services and assists in the provision of this service, as well as for goods and service with provision of an address. All place names and roads are able to have historical information attached. Anyone can add historical information, though that information is vetted. We currently have around 13,000 places that have history attached, and only 1,000 roads have history attached. There's a number of road information out there in the ether, in the web, but we don't have all that information in the registry yet, so maybe that's something we could look at. Naming authorities can also check for duplicate place and road names within the register, so that's important for councils naming places. We don't want duplicate road names, so there's some work around the SoundX system, the duplication search system within big names, which could do with some tweaking. It'd be great to see more users using big names and increasing historical information, a better duplication search, a new and intuitive way to display the data, and better links to our colleagues with big map data, especially features of interest and geomark lines.
And Dave Adams. You'll probably notice me just edging towards you as you start getting over a minute. So when that happens, that's what's happening.
Hi, Dave Adams from Delft also, but a different part, biodiversity. We've got lots of data. We've got point data where people go out and survey plants and animals. So there's a biodiversity atlas, which has got millions of records in it. We've got 1,800 threatened species raster models that are available. We've got veg extent and condition, so probably when you're looking at power lines, we might be able to help you. What else have we got? We've got some LiDAR data, if anyone cares about it. We've got 400,000 hectares that's about to land on our doorstep, which is only 32,000 million points of data. So that would keep people occupied. We can load them up. I guess one of the things we'd like to see is a mobile app that people could go out and collect new species information, go out and find new things. So that's something that would be really useful. The species models, I guess we'd like to be able to give Parks Victoria a report that said which species are in their parks. We don't currently do that. Or local governments, or Delft region. We haven't even done it for our own department. So there's plenty of work to be done. Future Coast data. It's something that I've come up with and I've become the owner of, which is, again, LiDAR data. It's terrestrial and marine, and so it can be used with our parks colleagues as well. There's lots of satellite imagery and aerial photos, and people can talk to me afterwards.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dave. Carlu Ribush. I think we've got 4 more, and then you can grab a drink and pick on your data owner of choice.
Thank you, Carlu Ribush from the Department of Development. The job is Transport and Resources. I'm here, I help load some PTV data. Neil's done a pretty good job of summarising that data, so yep, and I've also got an interest in marine habitat data, so interested in some of the stuff that David's talked about. We pass that data on to marine environment and the data as well as for marine
Yuri Onishchuk.
Yuri. I'm team leader of research team at City of Melbourne. We have opened our couple data sets there. We maintain couple. One is blue, census of employment. Another one is pedestrian data. And there are a few others. Primary focus is on blue data. Blue is census, which means that we talk to each and every business in the city of Melbourne, all 16,500 of them every 2 years. We've been collecting this data since 2002 on a consistent basis, which means that it's like an amazing database. What you can do with it, usually people start building something like shopping directly on a city scale. You can do that, of course, but that's been done. I think that where we can go is probably business type directory or an application. I would imagine that many of you in the future or currently even will be starting your own business, writing business plans. In business plans, you need to show your understanding of the market. And if you're thinking about location within the city of Melbourne, that's where market intelligence can be drawn from. So using that data set would help you, or developing something that would help for other startup businesses or people who want to set up their own business. Yeah. If you have any more questions, please ask.
Fantastic. Mick Zatorsky.
Good evening, I'm Michael Zaborski, Station Systems Team Lead for the City of Geelong, and also representing the local government spatial reference group. So all the hackers here tonight, I'd like you to come play City of Geelong. In addition to wonderful transport data and timetable data and parks data and everything else that covers the great state, we've also got a beautiful collection of socioeconomic data, community services, engineering facilities, all sorts of things that you'd want to find in the city. A nice, beautiful case study, well geographically bounded. No specific goals other than that. The local reference group, Department of Queensland, Geelong, and all the other local governments are focusing on each of them collecting parks, dog walking areas, and rubbish collection. It's something that they can all get as a continuous area larger than an LGA. And they'll, I won't go into quite details, but they'll be likely to be focused on those that are yeah, if you've got any questions for the City of Geelong or the local area,
And Victor Ramanauskas.
Hi, I'm Victor. I'm from the City of Ballarat. We have lots of local government type data sets. Anything you'd like to know about Ballarat is hopefully there. If not, let us know and we'll see if we can find it. We've got location data for all our city assets, trees, roads, trees, dog, bag, located. This year we're really looking to find out what can you do to help our residents, and are we providing our services as best we can. We're also having a look at parking. We've released some parking infringement data, and we think that's pretty cool, and hopefully some people can use it for things. Any questions?
And Rosetta Mills.
Hi, sorry I'm a little bit late. I'm Rosetta Mills from the City of Melbourne. I'm a part of the City Lab team, and the thing that we do is manage the open data platform at the City of Melbourne. So we have our own open data platform. A lot of other councils use data.gov, but we've got our own one very special. So we launched our open data platform in 2015. Since then we've got about 90 data sets up there. Very interesting stuff around our assets and infrastructure. A lot of the other local governments have that as well. We've also got future development in the city and also feeds from a lot of our live sensors in the city, such as like the pedestrian feed or our parking sensor data is up there as well. Really interesting. A lot of survey data as well. Along with food, we've got some interesting BioBlitz data, which talks about the biodiversity of the city, which is also really great. We'll be releasing a couple more data sets in the lead up to GovHack as well, so if there's anything in
particularly want to see, come and get in contact with me and try and make it happen. So we're really excited to see storytelling. What can we do with this more data? How can we kind of close that feedback loop? We collect a lot of it, but how can we kind of tell these stories back to the community as well? We also always want some feedback on our data sets and ideas of how we can improve the way that we gather the data. I know someone mentioned before maybe like an app that helps us gather data digitally. Sometimes we're still quite paper-based and that helps a lot. So yeah, feel free to come and have a talk to me. I might have a couple of lots of work I get them for.
Okay, that's all of our data owners. But before we break, I have a couple people who I think might want to talk to you, or you might be interested in talking to. The first of those is Megan Bassarotti.
Thanks, Jordan. I'm Megan Bassarotti, and with my partner in crime over here, Simon D'Souza, we look after data.vic. So if you've got any data.vic questions, and all of the VicGov data is up there, Simon's your man. But I also just wanted to say that we're responsible for designing the challenges for GovHack, and we'd like your input into what they should look like in terms of not the subject matter so much, but the structure, and what we need to provide you to ensure that you have the best path to succeed. And to build great things. So Miralee and I are in the back corner to talk through that sort of those elements of GovHack, and to really talk about what we need to provide you in the challenges and the challenge packs, so that you've got something really fun to play with and you can make something really great. So come and talk to us about that.
Great. The other person I thought people might be interested in chatting to, just because a couple of the first data owners were talking about privacy issues and similar. Sitting right here is Jeanette Vandenbalk, who's Assistant Commissioner of Strategic Privacy at the Victorian Privacy and Data Protection Commissioner's Office. So if you want to chat to someone about privacy and data protection issues, she's a good one. Sorry, what was that? Right. We also have Phil Reid and Roger Clark from Vic Roads who are here. Phil and Roger, can you just make yourselves obvious? So down the back there, hands up for a sec. Yep, Phil Reid, Roger Clark. If you want to chat about Vic Roads stuff. David has been tweeting pictures and
if you can't remember someone's face or name, check out GovHack Melbourne on Twitter, and I've just tweeted a picture of the cool guys who just introduced themselves.
Probably should have mentioned that before doing that. if you have a problem, if that does make you uncomfortable, I apologise. We'll take it down immediately. Let me know. Yeah, please do. Seriously though, if that does make you uncomfortable, please come and talk to me. We'll take it down immediately. But there are. So we're going to move on. The next phase of the evening involves grabbing a drink. And then wandering out that way, where all of those data owners who've said anything this evening will have a little spot with like a poster on the wall with their logo and their name. They will be sitting there waiting for you to come and talk to them, so please don't leave them sitting on their own. Fantastic. Thank you all for coming, and thank you all for listening.
We'll
Which like theory do understand.